Well, good afternoon and welcome back to the Little French Homestead. If you are new to my channel, my name is Sherry. Welcome. So today we are going to be doing a couple of healthy, desserts slash snacks and stuff. My husband still has been on this little kind of diet that his doctor had put him on. And he was told to cut out some junk and stuff. So I was figuring help him out a bit. Instead of having some not too healthy treats, that's gonna get his blood pressure and stuff all up. Figured I'd make some good ones. So in here, I've got some apples. I wanted really 8 because I'm making homemade applesauce. Because I have a couple of recipes that are requiring applesauce. Since I had them, I'm gonna go ahead and use that up. Now we just put in 1.5 cups of water, and I've got 1/2 cup of sugar. The recipe really required 8 apples, but I only had 6. The other 2 that I did have started to turn, and they weren't good enough to use. So we're gonna go ahead and get this cooking. I'm gonna bring you back over here on this side as we're gonna need the stove to make a few other things. Next recipe calls for 4 cups of milk. We're gonna add this in here. Then it is 3/4 cup of cornstarch and 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. And what we're making here is going to be a chocolate mousse. Okay? So the chocolate mousse is going to need to set in the refrigerator for about 4 hours. So this is why I'm trying to get these 2 items going first. Yeah, it's gonna have to go like that. There we go. And we're gonna keep this on the stove, and we're gonna go ahead and put it about medium. You wanna do it kind of nice and low and slow until this thickens up. All right, so the chocolate mousse is all set. I'm gonna go ahead and pour it in the mold, and we're gonna go ahead and set in the refrigerator for about 4 hours. And these apples, these are all done. So we're gonna go ahead and just do an immersion blender on them and get them all ready. In a glass pan, this is about an 8x8. I have put in this chocolate mousse. Now I did allow it to cool a little bit on the countertop before I put it inside the refrigerator. And I did put a little bit of plastic film wrap over that, and I pressed it in so then that way it wouldn't get any of those crusties that you can kind of get on top. And then also too, I added some water into this pan just to make sure it was not going to be so hard to clean at the end of the day for whoever was going to do the dishes. So like I said, this goes in there for about 4 to 6 hours. I am blending the apples to get them into a really nice sauce. Now, if you do not have an immersion blender, you may certainly go ahead and do it actually in a blender itself or a food processor. You just want to be real careful, especially when it's still really hot like this and it sprays. You don't want to get a burn on top of your skin. I allowed this to cool for a little while before I went and incorporated it into our next couple of desserts. All right, so here we are going to go ahead and do what's called a healthy banana coconut cookie. So you just take 2 ripe bananas. You're going to go ahead and take 1 cup of shredded coconut. This was approximate. You're going to mash the bananas and the coconut really thoroughly together. It was kind of difficult doing it with my hands, even though You could have accomplished this. What I think I should have done is used a fork to really mash them finely and then go ahead and use my hands to mix everything all together. But, you know, as always, you live and you learn, especially with the first time you make a particular dessert or of anything. You know, there's a learning curve. I did make these into, really small balls. I was able to go ahead and get 12. They did form a really nice crust on the bottom, and these were very good. So, I mean, they obviously do have a very strong banana taste, obviously. You couldn't really taste the coconut too much, but they were really delicious. I put them in a Ziploc bag and told my husband he can have as many as he needs. These bake at 350 for about 20 minutes. Now, what you'll still end up doing is allowing them to cool before you go ahead and dig into them or wrap them up. But they were delicious. Before I start anything else, I totally forgot. Before I started cooking today, I wanted to get dinner going. So dinner tonight is going to be a pork loin. However, we are going to be using the homemade blueberry barbecue sauce that I made the other day. So this is it. It's been sitting in the refrigerator for about 4 days since you've seen this video, that last video. So I'm just going to go ahead and put almost all of it in there. I'm going to take the rest of this, stick it in the freezer, and we'll save that for another night. Since it's almost 2 o'clock, I'm going to go ahead and stick this on high for about 3.5 hours. I'm going to do it for 3, and if I need another half an hour, I certainly will. All right, dinner is going. Let's go ahead and finish the rest of our stuff. Here we are going to make what's called a healthy coconut cake. We have 12 chickens in the back, and we have been getting some wonderful fresh eggs from them. So when you usually have fresh chicken eggs, you do want to go ahead and crack them singly, just in case you get anything in there that you don't want. If you're using store-bought eggs, you don't have to do that one. Once you get all of the eggs in there, you're going to take 1 cup of Greek yogurt, preferably plain, because you don't want to have any outstanding flavors in this. You will go ahead and then add 1 cup of shredded coconut as well. Now, the options for this is you can, for a fluffier texture, add 1 teaspoon of baking powder, but I chose not to do that. You could also add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract or 1 teaspoon for honey. That would give it a little bit more sweetness. I chose to stick with the basic 3 that I saw on the recipe, and I wanted to find out next. Certainly can go ahead and add any one of these other items if I choose to later down the road. So in your bowl, you're going to go ahead and give this a really good mix up. And then again, I have a 8x8 glass pan where I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. Now, I did not on either one spray the pans down with any sort of spray. I think I should have done that. The directions didn't call for that, but I think I should have done that. It didn't stick too bad, but I believe that it would have been a lot better you spraying down the pan, or you could probably add a little bit of butter to that, and I did not do that. So that is a tip for you to go ahead and do it. You are going to go ahead and put this in the oven at 350 for about 30 to 35 minutes. And obviously you want to go ahead and allow it to cool before you go ahead and cut into it. This was really good. Our next one is going to be the healthy homemade Snickers. Now this seemed really intriguing to me, and since we're making all this stuff with bananas, I figured I'd go ahead and give this one a shot as well. You are going to take 1 ripe banana, 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, 1 tablespoon of honey. You will have 2 tablespoons of roasted peanuts. I just got the regular planters, and you want to have them chopped. So what I ended up doing is I have a meat mallet. I ended up going ahead and putting a small handful in a meat mallet, in a Ziploc bag, and then I pounded it on the countertop with the meat mallet. You could certainly go ahead and just chop them with a knife if you wanted to do that, but I wanted them a little bit more finely done. Then in the meantime, while you're doing this, you're going to have 1 cup. They asked for dark chocolate chips, but I just have regular semi-sweet chocolate chips, so that's what I used. You're going to put that in a bowl in the microwave. 30-second intervals. You want to go ahead and then stir every time the microwave beeps. You want to go ahead and mix that chocolate. Once you've gotten that chocolate that is nice and smooth texture, you want to go ahead and spread it right onto this. This also goes in the refrigerator for about an hour. So you'd want to put on the bottom layer your banana, your honey, and your peanut butter. Then you will go ahead and put your nuts on top of that. You will then go ahead and pour your chocolate and allow it to set. This really was good. I do have a child that does not like anything with peanut butter in it, so she did not have any, obviously. But the other child who really likes peanut butter and likes homemade and likes Snickers and stuff, she said it was very good, but you really could taste the banana, and that she said she did not like. So I had mentioned to her that's not a problem, but that's the way that this recipe called for. And she asked me to come up with other recipes that did not involve banana. So I had to laugh, and I said, I sure can. So when I get to that one, I will do the same thing and video this. So now we are going to be making the healthy Reese's peanut butter cup. This particular recipe called for peanut butter powder, which I had to go and buy, which is not a big deal. But this also requires the 1/3 cup of applesauce, so I went and did that. And again, with the dark chocolate chips, 1/2 cup. So this here, you're going to go ahead and again mix. Now, I put all of these in ramekins. I actually just did 1 portion, and you see here that it really does take just 1 ramekin. I pulled out a couple other ones on the side. I wasn't sure how much it was going to make. Now, if you find that you and your family love these, I would go ahead and, triple and quadruple and stuff, all of this. But we only decided to make 1 and see how we all liked it. I did not want to make 5, 6, or 7 of these, and we found out that nobody liked it. It would have been a waste of food and time. Now that we found that we actually like these, I can go ahead and make more, stick them in these ramekins, and I can actually stick them in the freezer. And then when we want them, can let them come to room temperature and thoroughly enjoy. So what we're doing here now is after we mixed everything all up, I'm going to be pouring that melted chocolate that I just did for the previous recipe in here. This needs to allow for 2 hours, but I did take it out after an hour and everything was still very delicious. Again, the people who did like peanut butter was not a fan of the applesauce, but they knew what I was trying to do and make them healthy, simple snacks. Alrighty, so we have everything all done. We've got the cookies, the mousse, the cake. This one here is the Reese's peanut butter cup, and then this here is the Snickers. So I am very interested here in the Snickers. I did refrigerate them for about an hour and a half or so, and then I just allowed them to sit on the counter just so we could thaw out just a tad. Now I'm very interested in what all of these are tasting like. Not bad, but yep, you can taste the banana. So it's more of a banana Snickers, but this is really good. I like that. Okay. Now we're gonna try the Reese's peanut butter cup. So I gotta really dig in because these are still kind of frozen or cold. Okay, this really does taste like a Reese's peanut butter cup. And then that way it's not a banana taste to it. But I do like it. It was really good. Let me go ahead and have a cookie. Yep, these are good. I mean, obviously they all taste like banana, but as long as you don't mind banana. I like that. So, this one here doesn't have a crunch to it, but some of the other ones are a little bit more crunchier, and they got a really nice texture on the bottom. Those are good. Nice healthy snack. Alright. Gonna try the egg. Banana, what's this? The egg coconut and something else. I forgot already. So you know what would really go good on this? Some of the blueberry sauce. You might have to do that in a second. Alright, this is the mousse. Yep. It's chocolatey like a mousse. I like that. Hold on one second. I'm going to get the sauce for that. All right. So, I know I'm using a lot of spoons right now and forks, but that's okay. And that ice cream was super good. Just gonna make it over here. See, I knew I was gonna make a mess. That was super, super good. Now we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get dinner all round up. I think I know what I'm having for dessert. It's gonna be that with some blueberry sauce. So let me show you how the pork loin turned out and the rest of the dinner. All right, so I've taken out the pork loin and I just drizzled a little bit more in the blueberry barbecue sauce, but it came out really, really good. We're gonna go ahead and take some of this sauce as well. And we're gonna smush it all over everything. I'm gonna try to soak up as much sauce as possible. We also got here some nice oven roasted potatoes. And my mom and dad had some summer squash. So I said, yes, please. So we got a little bit of that. So that's a nice and very healthy meal, as well as some nice healthy desserts in just a moment. So let me go ahead and give this barbecue blueberry sauce a try. Tastes wonderful. You can taste the sweetness of the blueberries, but it's not overpowering at all. That's really good. I'm definitely gonna have to make that again. And then the potatoes, all it was a little bit of olive oil, salt, pepper, and a little bit of parsley flakes. And then I just did a little bit of salt and pepper on top of the summer squash. Just baked that all in the oven, 450, until the potatoes were a golden brown. So thank you so much for coming with me today and enjoying all of these wonderful meals. I do hope you give them a try. Please go ahead and let me know down in the comments below. If you like this video, like, share, but most importantly, go ahead and subscribe. Click that notification bell in case you need to see me more. You know, I do post 3 times a week. Excuse me for that. My wonderful cat is rubbing his wonderful body all over my camera, the tripod leg. I just, again, thank you very much for watching, and I do hope that you have a great day. And as always, keep on cooking, and I'm going to post a couple of videos here and there until my next upload. Bye.